and welcome to Taya Mini Reads, Reviews, Discusses, Monologues about everything and anything, and that's on period. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about a couple of books that I love. They are my top favorite books in Brandon Sanderson's world. So they're by Brandon Sanderson, obviously, and they're not in the Cosmere. So this is kind of like a young adult, very youngish YA set of books, but it's more like a space age kind of book. And if you are familiar with this author, you already know what I'm talking about. Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. The first book in the series is Skyward. This is a quintet. I mean, it's 4 books. So we have Skyward, we have Starsight, we have Cytonic, which was one of my fave, and then we have Defiant. So a lot of books. Let's get into it. Okay, so we start the story with Skyward. Our main protagonist is a young girl called Spensa who has lost her dad. Her dad is a fighter pilot for their community. They are like I said, it's a space opera. So let me read the synopsis really quickly. It says, Spensa's world has been under attack for decades. Now, pilots are the heroes of what's left of the human race, and becoming one has always been Spensa's dream. Since she was a little girl, she has imagined soaring skyward and proving her bravery. But her fate is intertwined with her father's, a pilot himself who was killed years ago when he abruptly deserted his team. Leaving Spensa, the daughter of a coward, her chances of attending flight school slim to none. No one will let Spensa forget what her father did, yet fate works in mysterious ways. Flight school might be a long shot, but she is determined to fly, and an accidental discovery in a long forgotten cave might just provide her with a way to claim the stars. So pretty much we follow Spensa, who has daddy issues. Well, baggage, pretty much, because her dad is deemed a coward. And if you know about like military kind of setups, you know, it's hard to wipe away the stink of your father being labeled a coward or, you know, whatever it is. So Spensa has had to grow all her life with that on her head, but she is determined to make a name for herself because she does not believe the claims that her dad was a coward. And so she eventually makes a discovery in this cave-in of the best sidekick ever. Mbot is I just love Mbot so much. I don't know how to explain how much I love Mbot. Mbot is her plane. What do you call it? Like, it's like the plane that she eventually will fly, but this is a plane that is an AI, artificial intelligence. So it can speak, it can communicate, it can talk, blah 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 blah. So and then we kind of follow Spensa as she tries to, you know, go up in the ranks and actually even figure out what happened to her dad. Then, you know, the story kind of goes on in Starsight. They were from Earth, like original Earth, and now they are fighting against aliens called the Krell. And so they find out from ancestor history background is the world destroyed, human beings destroyed Earth. And so they had to flee Earth in like this huge spaceships and move to living in the stars. And so, you know, it's so fascinating, you know, learning about the history of human beings and how AI, you know, had a huge impact or a huge say in how the world was destroyed. I mean, it was still humans, but there was AI involved, right? Cytonic is the book 3, which Cytonic kind of delves into more about the alien people. So now we go into Spensa is trying to infiltrate the Krell, and so she is able to disguise herself as one of the aliens, and then she goes to the superiority to kind of like see how they are able to travel, because something about this space age is if you travel in space it takes you like maybe 10 years to get from one point to another point, but the Krell have mastered a light jump where you can be somewhere instantly. Star Trek fans will know all about this. I'm not a Star Trek person, but I'm actually not a space person. Like I don't really like space books, but this books are so good. Like it's not even about the space part. It's just the part that like Spensa. So in book 1, she gets drafted into this college where they learn how to fly, and so she has her flight crew, and the relationship among the flight, oh my god, it is fantastic. It's adorable. It's the best part of the book. Right, so we watch her with her other like flight companions as they, go up the ranks, and they are trying to fight for their lives, literally. And then they also have these things called delvers, which can cause massive destruction. Actually, delvers were what I think destroyed Earth. I think I can't remember really, but that would be all explained in the last book, which is Defiant, where everything kind of comes to a head. Spensa is able to figure out a way to save her world and to repel the delvers and the aliens. We also get introduced to a bunch of different like races. There's the Fox clans. There's Hesho's like little. So we like I said, we get points of view from the other types of aliens. In Skyward, Spensa meets her sentient ship called Mbot, and she also meets a slug called a slug, like a snail thing that she calls Doom Slug, which later on in the book we figure out their background and history of the slugs, and we find out how important they are to the story. I had this is Hesho, the little fox thing. Isn't it like so adorable and cute? Yeah, so this is one, and they're like miniature, like super small. But yeah, and so in Defiance, Spensa then, has because throughout the books, she's discovering that she has powers. So she's trying to figure out her powers. So she goes on a journey in Cytonic. She goes to somewhere called the Nowhere, where she's trapped. And the Nowhere kind of helps her to understand the history and the background of how her people came to live on the planet that they live on, which is called Deuterius. And then it also gives her a clue on how to defeat the Delvers. And so everything kind of comes to a head in Defiance. And yeah, she does actually defeat them. A couple of things happen. I think a lot of people did not like the ending of Defiant. I loved it. I also have to mention that in the series, we also do have novellas that are sandwiched into each of these books. We have Sunreach, Redawn, and Evershore, which you would have to read them. I think Sunreach is in between Skyward and Starsight. Redawn is between Starsight and Cytonic, and Everdawn is after Cytonic or something. So, and this is also out. So whenever I read it, he wrote the novellas kind of like after the book, so I had to do a whole reread and read it with the novellas. It made so much sense, especially Everdawn. So if you're someone that you didn't do that, maybe go ahead and try it again. Read all the books in order with the novellas. It's gonna make so much sense. The good thing about this series is that the series, although seems finished, we have all 5 books, all 4 books and novellas. Brandon Sanderson is still working with Jancy Patterson, because Jancy is the one who kind of wrote the novellas with Brandon, and so Jancy is going to be continuing on from where the series ends in Defiant and kind of like Everdorn, to continue the story and talk about the other talk about people that we already got introduced to in the books. So yeah, that is Defiance or Skyward. I read it a while back, and it's so fascinating that Brandon Sanderson is an older guy. So for him to write such a young book about a young girl and nail it on the head. Like, I don't like space. I'm not a sci-fi girl at all, but this is a very interesting blend of sci-fi and fantasy, because there is fantasy, but then it's more sci-fi and AI. So if you're also wondering or trying to figure out if you like books about AI taking over, this is a great read, honestly. Like, it's all out, it's completed, so you're like, if you wanted something to binge right away, go ahead and get started on Defiant, on Skyward, and thank me later. Thank me later, because it's I've read this 3 times. I have a problem, I know. But it's like, once you get into it, it's super easy to just kind of keep going. So yeah, let me know if you've read Skyward series, and if you liked it or if you didn't like it. I know that one of the books, which I think will be Cytonic, was the least favorite of people. And that's because Cytonic kind of delves into a couple of other things. But, one thing I'll also add is there is romance, which is, again, fascinating. There is romance, so it's such a good blend. There's sci-fi, it's young adult, there's fantasy, there's romance, it's set in space. I mean, and then it's about conquering the world, bringing hope. I just love Skyward series so much. It's one of my top Brandon Sanderson reads. It's not in the Cosmere, it's not part of the Cosmere, but I think just set in its own space and world, it stands brilliantly by itself. So let me know if you've read the Skyward series, if you liked it. Who's your favorite characters? I have to say my favorite characters were Doomslug. Obviously, I actually liked Spensa. I actually liked Spensa a lot, and I liked Yogen. Yogen was, I think, my top fave. He was such a good person. You can see the character development from, when you first get introduced to him, and once the book kind of closes out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. Have a nice day. Bye.